excited for on Sunday, I'm sure. I don't know if he's banging the gong or ringing the bell or 12th wearing the 12th man jersey or whatever. John Ryan, longtime NFL punter, friend of show, and buddy of Mason Crosby. John, good day to you, sir.
Yeah, good day to you. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, John, are you going to be at the game this weekend?
I am. I'm at home in LA right now, but I'm flying out tomorrow morning, so I'll be there. Can't wait.
Oh, heck yeah. Yeah. Man, I didn't want to talk about this, and then Tommy, our producer, he brought it up. I mean, I didn't realize, and I just would have assumed, like, Seattle hasn't been in a NFC Championship game since that 2014 game.
Yeah.
They're in Seattle, right? Yeah. So that's crazy to think about. That was the last time Seattle hosted an NFC Championship game, and what a game and wild game that was. So what's your feel? I know you're still really close. You're always around that organization. I see you up there all the time for different things. What's your feel up there right now? I mean, obviously they smashed the Niners. They must be feeling pretty good right now.
Feeling pretty good. It's been an outstanding season. I don't think even the most hardcore of us thought we were going to win 14 games this year, to be honest with you. I thought we were kind of 1 year ahead of schedule. I thought next year was going to be a year. I thought we were more like a 10 or 11 win team this year. But that defense right now, it's tough. It's tough. It's giving teams fits right now. And, got LA coming to town, obviously a great team. Whenever you have a guy like Matthew Stafford behind center, you got a shot, but coming in 3 straight road games in the playoffs, 5 quarters in Chicago last week, it's going to be tough to beat the Seahawks on Sunday.
Yeah, for sure. And I was looking too. It's Devontae Adams on that team, and he was there in that 2014 playoff game. So I'm sure he's fired up trying to get this thing, get on the right side of an NFC championship, because he's also 0-4, unfortunately, in his career in NFC championships. So in that vein, like, I do want to ask you, because I don't know if we've ever really talked about it. You being there in Seattle for a long time, you've played everywhere. Like, what makes Seattle so what makes the fan base so ferocious and so crazy at games, and it gets so loud and wild? Yeah. Is it what's the mindset of a Seattle Seahawks fan that gets them so fired up every game day?
The fans are very proud people here. They always talk about the 12th man, and they truly believe they're the 12th man on the field. And I think with that being all the way tucked away in the Pacific Northwest, kind of being forgotten about by the rest of the country, they have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. You know what I mean? There's a ton of years when I first got there, and we were a pretty bad football team, and you'd watch ESPN at night or whatever, and they would have highlights of all the games, and they'd have us on for 5 seconds. Someone kicking our butt and then showing 3 highlights. And I always felt like we're kind of forgotten about. And I think that kind of where some of it comes from, where it's we're the people here in Seattle, we're kind of forgotten about, but we're going to prove to you that we're loud and we're good football fans.
That's right. We got John Ryan. He's on the Mason Crosby show. So you played, obviously we played, you were my teammate in Green Bay. You were in my wedding. I don't know. I think we maybe talked about this last time. John Ryan stood up in my wedding. And you had some moments against the Vikings. We were talking about this the other day, where how sweet it would be if Sam Darnold goes from the Vikings. They decide to move on, and then he goes to Seattle and gets it done with the Seahawks. Just another ultimate troll to the Minnesota Vikings. Would you be all right with that?
Yeah, I'd be totally fine with that, man. I no love lost there with the Vikings and us. But Sam Darnold, I mean, what a great story. I mean, Minnesota kind of kicking him to the curb for winning 13 games for them last year. Was it 13 games? Now the guy's won 27 games in 2 years, which is absolutely incredible for 2 different organizations. And I'll tell you what, we absolutely love him in Seattle. And, I guess one man's trash, another man's treasure. And that's how I think he's got a bit of a chip on his shoulder, whether or not he admits it or not, but he's kind of played that way all year.
John, are you kind of worried that it's the Rams? Because Sam Darnold kind of stinks against the Rams the last 2 years.
Yeah, I'm not worried about Sam, to be honest with you. I'm more worried about Matthew Stafford, and he's going to go out and throw for 450 or something crazy. It's supposed to be, for the Pacific Northwest, it's supposed to be a pretty nice game. I think they're saying 42 light winds, which is a win. Mason, as you know, that's a win in January in Seattle.
That's a win for Stafford.
Pardon me?
Right?
That's a benefit for Stafford.
Yeah. It's a win for Stafford. I mean, he's we're going to be pounding the ball, especially with that oblique injury to Sam Darnold. They're going to be pounding the ball, and we're kind of down one running back with the Charbonnet out. But I think it might be a bit of an advantage for Stafford. But at the same time, this defense is for real. So I think he's not going to be able to throw for that 450. I pray, because it will be a pretty wide open game if he does.
Well, and we've talked about like playing in Seattle can be kind of weird. It's a different animal, certainly with the with the fans and with the atmosphere and environment. When they returned the opening kickoff last week, is that like should everybody just walked off the field? Like it was game over. Like the Niners, once that happened, 13 seconds into the game, that game was over. Like the Niners had no shot. Like that's how quickly things can go crazy in Seattle, right?
Yeah, well, once you have that crowd on your side like that, and they're going crazy, 13 seconds into the game, it makes it pretty tough, especially for a San Fran team who they played unbelievable this year, but by that point they're just beaten down with injuries. They just didn't have too many more bullets left in the chamber. So I kind of knew pretty early it was going to be a bit of a relaxing game, and that's something that also it's going to be to our advantage, having LA coming in from a 5-quarter tough game in a cold Chicago. That'll play to our benefit as well.
Hey, John, I want you to talk a little bit about John Schneider there, general manager coming from Green Bay, and like what a heck of a job as far as an evaluator, a leader. I mean, that guy just is the best of the best. So talk about like your relationship with him and like what it meant to you. Whenever, we talk about, I would never call you trash, one man's trash, another man's treasure. Yeah. When you left Green Bay, like, obviously I was steamed. Everyone, like, that was the first time I ever saw the business of football rear its ugly head. And then you go to Seattle and have a heck of a career there. And I know you and John Schneider have a really good relationship.
Yeah, I mean, John Schneider and I, we go back 20 years. My very first workout in the NFL was in 2006, February 2006, almost exactly 20 years ago. And wow. They didn't bring in a long snapper for anything, so it was just John Schneider underhanding me passes to punt, and Reggie McKenzie with the stopwatch. I was just like, man, if they only have 2 guys out here, there's no way I'm ever going to be signed on this team. And luckily, They offered me a contract right after that. But John Schneider, we go way back. He had to cut me back in 2008 with Green Bay, and I think he was almost in tears. And him and I, we always kept in touch. And every time I go to Seattle now, we still go out and get a beer together at our favorite dive bar. So him and I we have a great relationship. Just to see what he's done with that team, some of the draft picks that he's made. I mean, going all the way back to 2012, when you look at Russell Wilson in the 3rd round, Bobby Wagner in the 2nd round, get guys like Cam Chancellor and Richard Sherman in the 5th round. These are guys are, fringe Hall of Fame type players, some of the greatest players in the history of Seattle, and he gets them in the later rounds. So, he's very well deserved of that Executive of the Year award that he just won recently, because he's just, been such a great guy to have in that organization. Without him, we wouldn't be where we are.
John, I wanted to ask you about McDonald, because in this new coaching cycle, it's been a lot of defensive head coaches getting brought in. And obviously McDonald being a part of that a few years ago with Seattle, and Green Bay now in a necessity for a defensive coordinator with Hafley getting the job in Miami. Like, you went from a guy like Pete Carroll, who I'm sure is a legend in Seattle, right? Absolutely. He wins the Super Bowl. He gets you to another one. And, his gum chewing is in the Hall of Fame. Like, absolutely. But, like, thinking of that, like, is that something when you see the success of Seattle, you look at New England, they brought in Vrabel, obviously, another defensive guy. And is the young hotshot offensive coordinator kind of out right now, and it is more of a transition to maybe defensive coaches getting a chance this wave specifically and in the future for the NFL?
DeMeco Ryans as well. That's another one. You see all these, it seems to be going in that direction. I think when Seattle hired Coach McDonald, I was kind of like, who? I mean, I'm not literally, but I was like, what, really? This is the guy we're going after, with the other big names on the market, so young and everything. And man, luckily I was very wrong with that one, because he's been great for us. But it does seem to be the way the direction is going in the NFL, is to more defensive-minded head coaches. Whether or not we're going to see that coming up with about 10 new head coaches being hired in the next couple of months, we'll see.
Well, you've seen it forever, John. Like, I say it all the time. It's like every 4 years, this NFL, like, it ebbs and flows, right? It's like offensive passing goes crazy, so everybody gets smaller and does all. And then now it's like we're in this window where running backs are kind of coming back. and now they're going to have to beef up again and stop the run, and then we're going to see 5,000-yard passers again, pretty soon here. I feel like I do feel like the NFL also sees that, and they're like, all right, now we need some defensive head coaches to combat what's going on, in this cycle of things. So it's fascinating how that goes. But let's talk about a little bit of like kind of your life and what you got going on personally. I know the last time we had you on, we talked about the pickles and all the things that you got going. I know Mitch he wants a shirt. I don't know if you can hook him up with that.
Or a hoodie,
whatever.
Whatever.
Oh, he's rocking one now. There you go.
You are.
Portland Pickles. So how's it going? How's it going with that? And what other things you got going on the side here?
Yeah, it's going great. We've owned the Portland Pickles now for 10 years, my business partner and I. And it's just, we built it up from pretty much from the ground up, from just being a little ragtag team in Southeast Portland to being a pretty huge team, averaging, 400 fans a night, which is pretty big for that level. And then we also own the Lake County Captains, which you guys probably know. We play against the Wisconsin Timber Rattlers in the Midwest League. And now we've kind of moved on to soccer as well. We have the Portland Bangers FC, which play in the USL2. And we're introducing our new USW team and US women's team in Portland as well, the Portland Cherry Bombs this year. So we're kind of moving into that soccer space, as awesome. Mason, you'd be happy to hear, and we're having a lot of fun with that too. So it keeps me as busy as I want to be when I'm not laying in bed drinking coffee or working out. Other than that, I kind of focus a little bit on these teams as well.
Drinking, man. You never change, John. Just never change. I mean,
John,
I told you this story before.
John.
So my first, he's my first punter, first teammate in the NFL, and it's like I go to his apartment for the first time, and I'm expecting. I don't know what to expect. I'm going in his fridge. Literally, this guy has Miller Lite. He has beer, and he has protein shakes. Just that was it. It was like a cribs thing, and I was like, dude, nothing else. He's like, I get everything at the stadium, and then I just drink beer and protein at the house. It's not a big deal.
So I'll tell you, 20 years later, it's the exact same. My wife got so sick of it that I have to have my own fridge now. So I have my own fridge with just beer and protein shakes in it. Beer, protein shakes, and Diet Coke. It's what I live on. I've already had 3 protein shakes. It's only 11:15 over here. A couple Diet Cokes. I'm good to go.
Let's go. John Ryan joining us on the guest hotline, powered by Gruber Law. One call, that's all. John, who's funnier, you or your wife?
My wife. Yes, she is a professional stand-up comedian, Sarah Colonna. She'll actually be performing in Appleton at the end of March, the Skyline Comedy Club, March 26th.
Sounds like we should all meet up.
SarahColonna.com or the Skyline.com Comedy Club to get your tickets. But yeah, she's definitely the funnier one. I have more like locker room humor. A lot of that's what she said, and jokes referring to your groin area, stuff like that, where she's an actual real comedian.
She's you just make people feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. I got a question. So before our show, John Kuhn has a show on our air, and I talked to John this morning, and he has a conspiracy theory that he wants to run by you. He's still that we're all still mad about. Okay, fake field goal. The fake field goal.
Yeah.
What did you see? Did you know before the game even started that you were going to run it? And did Chad Morton Did Chad Morton steal information from the Packers and specifically give it to you that, should the Packers have seen this coming, basically?
Yeah, he didn't steal it.
No, he didn't.
He saw information.
It's a play that we put in on Thursday of that week. So that play, we ran it full speed in practice maybe 2 or 3 times. And I knew the situation.
You're breaking Tommy's heart again.
That's infuriating. That's so
we saw the guy the farthest guy off the wing was crashing down the short side of the field every
Brad Jones,
time.
Right?
Yes, every single time he was coming head down as hard as he could around that corner, no matter what, not even really looking. And so I didn't think we'd actually run the fake. Mason knows when you have those fakes, then you end up running them like once or twice a year, maybe if you're lucky. So the situation, we had to be between the 20 and 30 yard line. We had to be down. We had to be getting closer later in the game. So the whole situation just played out perfectly for us. And then, we just we got the exact when it went on the field. I had the exact look that I wanted, and just kind of
John, who rushes full out in a situation where it's at that point 16-0. So nothing changes. You kick the field goal. It's still a 2-touchdown game. Who rushes short side of the field like all out. Like I mean, like
Sean Slocum. That's who. Sean
why can't
Slocum.
why can't the Green Bay Packers figure out special teams?
I don't want to throw Sean Slocum under the bus here because
I just did.
Thank you for doing it for me. But yeah, it was a pretty consistent thing you were doing over and over again, it was almost every situation on the field you kept on doing it, and it just kind of exposed you guys a little bit on that weak side.
Well, John, then I have a question based off of that, because we've talked about the special teams culture specifically in Green Bay and how maybe that they just don't prioritize it, because it's not been the last 2 years. It's the last like 20 years that Green Bay has neglected special teams specifically. Maybe you can argue since Desmond Howard has been out of the building with what they've done. Like, what were some key differences? And again, maybe not throwing at Green Bay under the bus, but giving more praise to Seattle. What were some like differences in the special teams culture and coaching from going from Green Bay and then going over to Seattle? Because you keep saying we every time we talk about Seattle, and you keep saying the Packers every time you talk about the Packers. Like, you obviously made a home over there and felt a little more comfortable in the special teams plan in Seattle than you did in Green Bay, it sounds like.
Yeah, I think I do say that because I've been there for so long. But just so you know, I had an absolutely amazing time in Green Bay, playing with Mason, playing with Brett Favre. Those 2 years that I spent in Green Bay were actually absolutely incredible, and I absolutely treasured that time. And if not for them, if not for John Schneider, if not for them giving me my opportunity, I never probably would have played in the NFL. So, I did love my time there. I think that when I went to Seattle, they really treated the special teams like it was 1/3 of the game, and I didn't necessarily get that sense.
Such a simple idea, right?
Wow.
Yeah. I'm only speaking of the 2000, 2006, 2017, because I can't really speak after that. But we were really treated like we were a part of the team in terms of we were just as important as the offense and the defense. And it was very, very much stressed in training camp for a lot of guys, a lot of draft picks, third round and down. It's kind of like, if you want to make this team, it's not like college anymore where you're going to be a starting receiver. You got to make this team on special teams. And that's the only way you might make this team. And that was very much stressed and celebrated. And I think another thing for Green Bay, which they have a real disadvantage of, and that's why you guys were so fortunate to have Mason Crosby there for so long, is a lot of the free agent kickers and punters, they don't want to go to Green Bay. Not because it's the greatest football city to play in for sure, but with the weather, it's hard. It's a very tough place to kick and punt. And that's why Mason, I love you, but yeah, it makes your career even more impressive that you were able to do that and not just done it in a place like Houston or Indy or in a place like in a dome where you were doing that. And I think that's why you're still so well respected there. But I think it's still why you seem to turn over a new punter every 18 months.
Yeah.
John Ryan's here on the Mason Crosby Show. John, if you were the general manager of an NFL football team, would you hire Mason Crosby to be your special teams coordinator?
Yes. We're throwing propaganda out there.
Absolutely.
Dude, John, I think you and I would be a great duo.
You guys would be.
Let's go run a show somewhere. Let's go coach a team.
So many good decisions would be made in bars. I mean, there'd be contracts thrown up on napkins. There would be like moving around Miller Lite cans for potential play. It would just be an absolute riot.
Imagine Mason and John.
We'd last about a month.
Yeah. So imagine like John and Mason are like, okay, what if we combine protein shakes and beer?
Let's go.
Yeah. Do you think if these guys like chug the protein drink and could run and make a tackle before they throw up, that's our guy?
Yeah.
If they can do that, he's our guy.
We'd have our own combine. It'd be an absolute disaster.
I love it.
A beer combine.
I just want to come and watch.
Every 40-yarder, you got to drink a 40 right after that, after the sprints.
Amazing.
We talked. We brought up that fake field goal. I still, and not to like poke fun, like you had some amazing. I still remember the fake field goal or punt you ran in Green Bay. I think it was in Minnesota, still in the old Metrodome. Oh, yeah. And you ran about 40 yards to get like 6. And like we called you crazy legs because you were just like
I'll never forget that play. Whoever was the personal protector, it was his job to call the play off. So that was supposed to be like, I think
and he called it off, right? But didn't indicate to you, right?
It was supposed to be a snap to me and a throw to the wing, leaking out to the right there. It was like a fake that Stock always had in. And so Metrodome back then was pretty loud. On a fourth down when you're punting, it was loud in there. and whoever the PP was, he called it off. So he's looking towards the line. I'm 10 yards behind him, and he's like, kill, kill, kill. Well, I'm 10 yards behind you. I can't even see your mouth. So I catch the ball. I'm looking up the path, and I'm like, why is nobody moving? Why is nobody moving? And then Crazy Legs came to life, and I just, I mean, that was the luckiest run of all time, but I still love it.
John's an athlete, man. You had some good ones there in Seattle too that unfortunately made the highlights for the wrong way. You got first down, you made some good runs, and then
I got
one
concussed
in Seattle and the one in that wasn't it the freezing game in Minnesota?
Yeah,
right?
that wasn't even a fake. That was on a bad snap, and then I decided I was going to hurdle a guy. A 35-year-old ginger kid from Canada is going to hurdle a world-class athlete. Like, that's going to freaking work out, And I landed on my face, and I broke my nose in half.
The pride of Saskatchewan, right?
That's right.
I got one more for you, John. The Advent calendar. That was like an article we had a month or so ago in the Green Bay Press Gazette. You got a new liquor Advent calendar that you're trying to go around here?
I'll take 7.
Yeah, my wife and I have been doing this Advent calendar just for fun. It actually started in COVID, just out of boredom. We, have surprise liquors that we drink every night, and we just tape it. It's been going for about 5 years now, and for some reason this year it caught on. I think the first 2-minute episode we had like 5 million views or something like that. So it caught on. And it's kind of funny to watch just us two a-holes having to take a terrible shot and see our reaction.
So what does it entail? Like, you got to sell the people on this here, John.
Can we all do it together at some point?
Absolutely. So we literally, at the start of December, we go down to our local liquor store, which is luckily a block and a half away from me, and they set up these bags, these paper bags for us. They collect them all year, the worst shots they can possibly find. They put them in little paper bags for us. We pick them up, and then we literally just pull out a new bag every day during the Christmas season. Press play on the old Instagram. We both do a shot, and you just kind of see our reaction to how awful it is, or sometimes how good it is, but usually awful.
What's the worst one you've had? What was the worst one?
Oh, man. What was it? It's a shot from Chicago. Very
makes sense.
Malort.
Yes.
Malort is so gross.
As it is when someone says Chicago, I usually turn my head and spit. But this time I really took the shot and turned my head and spit. Because that was one of the nastiest things that I swear to God only people in Chicago would like.
I love it.
That sounds very Chicago.
For sure. Yeah. Well, John, man, I really appreciate you jumping on, buddy. Anything else you got going that you want to plug? Obviously, the Sarah's comedy set coming. Are you going to do anything? Are you going to lead off for her? I know you've done some of that in the past. Like, are you going to go up there for?
I've done some stuff for her in the Pacific Northwest because I know it's kind of my people, and I absolutely hated it. It's an awfully lonely place to be up there. You thought it was lonely being a kicker or punter, trying to be a stand-up comedian. You're just on an island up there, and I really respect her that she can go up there for an hour every night, sometimes twice a night, and just make a room of 400 people laugh. So I'll be there with her, but I won't be taking the stage. And other than that, I just got the baseball and the soccer thing going, and I'm about to head to the gym and do 2 hours of triceps and biceps till I puke.
Yeah, you
are. That's how you, same old John Ryan. That's what I'm talking about.
That's how you earn your beer at night, guys.
That's right.
That's how you earn it.
Do you have a score prediction for Sunday?
24-10. I think that the defense is going to hold them. I don't think it's going to be a blowout from the get-go or anything like that. I'm hoping for a good game because it makes it more fun, makes it for better stories down the road. But I think it'll be about 24-10 for the Hawks.
All right.
Awesome.
John Ryan, a friend of show. Thank you so much. We'll do that Advent, those shots with you next December for sure.
Absolutely.
Maybe we'll see you up in Appleton in a couple months. So
I hope
thanks so much for jumping on the show, John.
Yeah, appreciate you, John.
Absolutely.